Let's talk about something that it's related to eating, but in a different way, so you will understand it with a different perspective. The idea here is, I'm not always refer to a specific case because that way we can relate to each other in a different way. You can think about a story, and then you relate to a story somehow, and you can think about someone that it's important for you or for yourself. This is a person that was here today, was here this morning. We've been working in different occasions. She's been doing much better in relations to something that she thought she had, which was the belief that she had a bacteria. She thought she had an infection, some kind of bacteria that she has contracted somewhere overseas. And as a result of that, she's lost probably 50 pounds. This is a reverse issue of the one before, but it's related to the same thing. It's related to the anxiety of controlling the way you eat because you thought you had a bacteria, or because you had a thickness, or because you think that the food has to be perfect in order to eat. So in her particular case, she because she believed at some point in her life, this was probably about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, she believed that because she was overseas, she was having parties, and one day she had an indigestion. She didn't feel good about what she did. So certain family members and people that were related to her were telling her that she probably had an infection, or she probably contracted some sort of bacteria. Somehow she believed in it. Somehow she believed in that. And after she came back into the States, she started seeing different specialists, gastroenterologists, all kinds of MDs, people that were specialists in different areas to be able to, and she did different testing. But they couldn't find out that she had anything. And so, incidentally, because of that, they recommended taking some relaxation pills and things of that nature in order to relax her. But she felt uncomfortable because every time she wanted to eat something, she thought that something was influencing her. But the good doctors wouldn't find out exactly what she had, so they didn't know what to do with her. So she came over here to my office with all kinds of testing that they couldn't find out what she had. I was last resort. So the exercises and the sessions that I started doing with her was again to be able to change the story based on what she told me, based on what she believed that she had to do, in order to eat so well that she could eat. And what we did based on the stories that she told me was to be able to make her feel good about the possibilities of the disbelief that she would have, in order to feel bad about what she would have needed to eat in order to avoid the bacteria. In other words, what we did was to take away and dismantle the belief that she had the bacteria, even though intellectually she knew that she didn't have it. So the exercises that we did were able to not only relax her, but because of their beliefs starting to change, it was gradual. She started first thinking that the belief that you used to have was wrong. After she believed that the belief that she used to have was wrong, then she was ready to think that she could go out anywhere, including with her family and friends, to be able to eat anything she wanted, which means that she didn't have to think of preventing eating this or eating that, because she didn't need to think that the food had to be perfect in order to avoid something else in her stomach, or diarrhea, or something else that she didn't like, or the result of what she wouldn't like. Now, as a result of all those exercises, not only she changed the belief about what she was doing, obviously with the testing and the results that she already had, because we've already been tested, she's already been tested about not having anything she had. But what she had was the belief that she had it, even though she tested not to have it. So what happened is that at the end, after doing the second exercise, what happened in there is that she started integrating into that belief that she didn't need to control that much what she needed to do in order to be perfect. You see, what happens about perfection is that perfection can make people very, very detrimental, because when they over exceed in perfection, they start criticizing themselves for everything they do. And so I didn't even know this. This came out. It's amazing, because this came out all of a sudden this is an investigative process, right? So all of a sudden it came out, and we found out, both of us itself, that she was trying to control what everyone was doing and what she was doing, including the food. She didn't even know that she was doing this. I didn't even know she was doing this. How would I know? But it came out. So you see, what we're doing is that we're going back and back and back into the issue of what she was doing in order not to gain the weight. Because if you have to criticize everything you do for everything you do, and if you were to be thinking all the time when you get up in the morning at 7 o'clock that your child has to go to the bathroom, has to make up his bed before he goes to the bathroom, and if he wants to do the bed after he does the bathroom, so you need to criticize him for what he did all the time, and you need to criticize somebody else for what they do that you thought it was bad, you'll never finish. So you'll be criticizing everyone for all day long for what you want to do, for what you think is best for them, which in turn makes you criticize yourself, which in turn convinces you that you have to criticize the food that you eat, which in turn convinces you that you had some kind of bacteria in order to keep continuing to criticize. So when we find out about that, we changed it, and as a result of that, we're doing much better.